Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Joining me in the studio is skiing legend Chris Anthony. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm looking at my pants on TV. They look pretty.
They look.
Funny.
You've got the neon glow going there. You're easy to spot out on the mountain.
Yep.
So we here at TV8, like a lot of folks in the ski, involved in skiing and snowboarding, have loved Warren Miller for a long time. Mm-hmm. And we play his movies on a daily basis, and it's kind of part of ski season. Yeah. But you really had a strong connection and were in many, many of his movies.
Yeah, I became aware of him when I was like probably this tall, and my parents took me to the annual film, so every fall the film would open up in Denver and Warren would actually be there. He would narrate the film from the side of the stage, and he'd do a monologue before and during the intermission. When I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, I actually got to film with them here on Vail for an ad for Head Skis. And I kind of thought, oh man, I'm going to be in the film, but that never ended up in the film. But eventually, I ended up being in 27 years in the film, and emceeing the films for 28 years, and it is obviously a huge part of my life. Everything skiing wise, post ski racing, I can attribute to being in those films and getting to share that opportunity with the public. And his impact, his name, his impact on the ski industry has been millions and millions of people. So his loss, the loss of Warren Miller, a month or so ago, was
right.
It was a huge one.
Yeah.
It's a huge one, and I don't know how we're going to celebrate it and everything, because I don't think anybody's really wrapped their hands around that yet, because he involved in so many things. So I'm hoping that something soon will be done in honor of Warren and his impact on the industry.
It's really rare that an individual is so wrapped up in an industry. I mean, that is how we started ski season, was going to see the Warren Miller movie. And, like you, my husband would go to Warren Miller films in Seattle, and they were narrated by Warren Miller in the very beginning. And he really took you all around the world, but in particular, Alaska.
Yeah, so I went up to Alaska quite a bit because of Warren Miller. I was invited to my first competition up there because I was a Warren Miller athlete, and then ended up going up, and you see me crashing here in a Warren Miller segment. They love the crashes, and they love to make fun of me especially. But I got to go up there and start guiding, and this footage here is actually from Points North in Cordova, Alaska, where I do guide, and this is shots from a Warren Miller segment that we shot a couple of years ago. I'll be heading back up there in a few weeks and guiding out of that region. But this just shows the amazing film footage, the locations, the sharing of the story, the sharing of the sport to the world through imagery and his narrations, and the way that he set the bar for that sort of documentary film action to take place. It was very special, and because he was kind of an entity on its own, when Warren left, it's like it's really hard. Who claims Warren, and who's going to celebrate Warren other than we all do? But I am hoping that we can do something very special on his behalf. I was thinking about seeing if I could get like a bronze bust commissioned of him, so that we could at least put that in the new ski museum or something like that. But
absolutely.
This is somebody that had more impact on the ski industry than any individual that's ever been out there.
And one of the things I especially liked about Warren Miller and his movies was that, in addition to all the beautiful scenery and the great skiing, was his sense of humor.
Yep.
Like, he never took himself seriously, and I felt like his message to us was, don't take yourself too seriously, have fun out there.
He literally just kind of stumbled into this lifestyle that he had because he was always in search of the free lift ticket, and he had such a humor about that, right? So he went out, he shot film footage of people on the mountain, and then brought that down to the day lodge and was showing it. And I think there's just this natural thing that started happening. How do we make the film footage look even more exciting? By cracking jokes over it. And that's where his dry sense of humor started appearing was just that narration over the film, and then that became very much a tradition with the film. Is his voice, his narrations over the film. That's what you remember the most.
Chris, great talking with you this morning, and bon voyage on your upcoming trip to Alaska, and thank you also for sharing your memories of Warren Miller.
Absolutely.
It's Chris Anthony. Coming up next, we've got your weather forecast.